English is the language of the world powers, even if nations who don't speak it try their best to communicate in it, even if it's a little. The English language is widely spoken in international diplomacy, business, science, and technology, making it a global lingua franca. Its dominance in media, literature, and the internet further solidifies its status as the language of global power and communication. If there were no social media, one might have thought that Africa, the most special continent in the world with the most black-skinned people, which is beautiful but also has the highest level of illiteracy and poverty, would not be able to speak English. But Africa ranks as the second largest English-speaking continent in the world, following Asia. While this is huge, it actually has a lot of history which dates back to the 16th century, involving the British colonial rule. However, out of precisely 54 countries, not all countries speak the English language as an official or major language. So, in this video, we will be listing 24 countries that speak English as an official or major language. Ensure you like and subscribe as we dive into their names, population, and short historical backgrounds. Number 24. Lesotho. Lesotho, with a population of approximately 2.2 million, has approximately 0.7% of its population speaking English. While English is an official language, Sesotho is the most widely spoken. Lesotho was introduced to the language during the rule. After independence in 1966, the mark of British presence still lingers as a form of language. Number 23. Rwanda. Rwanda, with a population of approximately 13 million, has 1 to 2% of its population speaking English. Belgium introduced Rwanda to English after defeating the Germans. Although French was the main language of administration and education during the Belgian colonial era, after Rwanda gained independence in 1962, the government sought to promote national unity and inclusivity by adopting English as one of the official languages. Number 22. Somalia. Somalia, with a population of approximately 15 million, has a percentage of 1 to 5% speaking English. The country has a unique history as it was formed by the merger of British Somaliland and Italian Somaliland in 1960, gaining independence on July 1, 1960. Somali and Arabic are the official languages, while English is used mainly in educational and governmental contexts. Number 21. Eritrea. After the Second World War, the English took over the country from Italy before Ethiopia, an African country, later took over. Now, with a population of approximately 6 million, around 2 to 3% of its population speaks English. Eritrea gained independence from Ethiopia on May 24, 1993, making Tigrinya the dominant language, and English has one of the major working languages of the government and is taught in schools. Number 20. Botswana. Botswana, with a population of approximately 2.4 million, has around 2 to 5% of its population speaking English. The country was a British protectorate known as Bechuanaland until independence on September 30, 1966. English is one of the official languages adopted in education, administration, and trade. Number 19. Swaziland. Swaziland, with a population of approximately 1.1 million, has around 5% of its population speaking English. The country was a British protectorate until independence on September 6, 1968, when it became the Kingdom of Swaziland. English is one of the official languages used for education and government communication. Number 18. Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone was established as a settlement for freed and liberated Africans in 1787 by the Sierra Leone Company. The British still took control of the settlement in 1808. They later gained independence on April 27, 1961. Now, with a population of approximately 8 million, 5% of its population speaks English as an official language. Number 17. Malawi. Malawi, with about 20 million people and around 5% of its population speaking English. During the late 19th century, British influence in the region grew, and Malawi, then known as Nyasaland, became a British protectorate in 1891. Over time, the usage of English expanded, and it remained prominent even after Malawi gained independence on July 6, 1964. Number 16. Namibia. Namibia, with a population of approximately 2.5 million, has around 7 to 10% of its population speaking English. The country was a German colony until 1915, when it was occupied by South Africa, a country with an English presence. After independence on March 21, 1990, it retained English as one of the official languages, along with Afrikaans and other indigenous languages. Number 15. South Africa. South Africa, with a population of about 59 million, has about 9% of its population speaking English. The country's colonial history is complex, with the Dutch and British both exerting influence. English spread when the British took over from the Dutch in the 1800s. After full independence in 1961, English remains one of the country's 11 official languages. Number 14. Tanzania. Tanzania, with a population of approximately 60 million, has around 10% of its population speaking English. The country was under German and later British colonial rule until gaining independence on December 9, 1961. English remains one of the official languages. Number 13. Liberia. As a unique case in African history, Liberia was founded by freed African American slaves and free people of color in the 19th century. English became the official language. Liberia gained its independence on July 26, 1847, making it the first African country to achieve independence from colonial rule. Now, with a population of approximately 5 million, it has around 20% of its population speaking English. Number 12. Zambia. Zambia, with a population of approximately 18 million, has approximately 20% of its population speaking English. The country was a British colony known as Northern Rhodesia until gaining independence on October 24, 1964. English became the official language. Number 11. Cameroon. Cameroon, with a population of approximately 27 million, has 20% of its population speaking English. The country's colonial history is unique, as it was divided between the British and the French after World War I. Cameroon gained independence on October 1, 1961 for the English-speaking regions. Today, English and French are official languages. Number 10. Uganda. Uganda, with a population of approximately 45 million, has around 40% of its population speaking English. The country came under the leadership of English delegate Sir Frederick Lugard through treaties and diplomatic agreements with local leaders in the 19th century, until gaining independence on October 9, 1962. Number 9. Sudan. Sudan, with a population of approximately 44 million, has around 50% of its population speaking English. Sudan was jointly ruled by the British and Egyptians in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. It gained independence from British-Egyptian rule on January 1, 1956. English is one of the official languages alongside Arabic. Number 8. Nigeria. Nigeria is recognized as the giant of Africa with a 211 million population. The country has approximately 53 to 60% of its population speaking English. Due to the country's colonial history, which dates back to the late 19th century, when Britain gained influence through establishment of trading posts along the coast. As trade expanded, the British gradually gained control over various parts of the territory through treaties, military conquests, and indirect rule. And today, English is a proud official language. Number 7. Zimbabwe. With a population of approximately 15 million, the country was formerly known as Southern Rhodesia, a British colony. In 1980, it gained independence from British rule, becoming Zimbabwe. English is one of their 15 official languages, with about 70% of its population speaking it. Number 6. Ghana. Like many other countries located in West Africa, Ghana also has English as the official language. With a population of approximately 31 million, Ghana has approximately 70% of its population speaking English. Like Nigeria, English was adopted as the official language due to Ghana's colonial history with British rule, which began in the late 19th century. In 1957, Ghana gained independence, becoming the first sub-Saharan African nation to do so. Number 5. Mauritius. A country that has undergone several colonial masters, French, British, Dutch, and Arabs, before gaining independence on March 12, 1968. It still has a large percentage of its population speaking English, estimated at around 78% in a population of approximately 1.3 million. English is an official language. Number 4. Kenya. With a population of approximately 54 million, Kenya has approximately 80% of its population speaking English. Kenya's colonial history began in the late 19th century when the British East Africa Company established a presence. In 1963, Kenya gained independence from British colonial rule, and English remains an official language. Number 3. Seychelles. Seychelles, with a population of approximately 100,000, has a significant percentage of its population speaking English, estimated at around 95%. The country was a French and later British colony before gaining independence on June 29, 1976. Today, English, French, and Seychellois Creole are all recognized as official languages, reflecting the nation's multicultural heritage. Number 2. St. Helena. Discovered by the Portuguese in 1502, it later became a British territory in 1659, and still a British overseas territory and has not fully gained independence. Today, St. Helena remains a remote and unique British overseas territory with a population of approximately 4,500 and 100% English speakers. Number 1. The Gambia. Even with Wolof spoken widely as a first language, with a population of approximately 2.4 million, the Gambia has nearly 100% of its population speaking English. English serves as the official language. The history began in the late 19th century when the British established trading posts along the River Gambia. The British gradually extended their influence. In 1965, the Gambia gained independence peacefully from British colonial rule, retaining English as its official language. While there are still countries that still speak English, it is not an official or major language for them, meaning it is less prioritized in important sectors of the countries, though attention on its growing for educational, professional, and diplomatic reasons. Thanks for watching. Kindly like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell for more content like this. And that's it for this video. See you in the next one.